I have made other videos on this topic, but this one is very particular because this one will be a step-by-step guide on how to apply for your tourist visa of Ecuador from your house, from your place, from your city, wherever you are, and whenever you would like to do that, as long as you meet the requirements. Hello world, welcome to a new video on this channel, BuildDevTours channel. If it is the first time that you're here, be welcome. I am Luis Velasquez. I am manager and founder of BuildDevTours. If you don't know, well, BuildDevTours is a tour operator and travel agency located in Ecuador. Our main goal is to promote Ecuador to the world, taking into account sustainability of the territories and the cultures. On this channel, we showcase nature, culture of Ecuador. And if you are interested in learning about Ecuador, then you're on the right place. We try to do what we do not only for the general tourist, but providing more context, showing you more things beyond what's usually shown. Or we are seeking not to be the average tour operator. We are learning along the path as well, but well, that's something that you will see in our other videos. So if you're interested in Ecuador, please subscribe to this channel. And if you would like that we assist you to come to Ecuador, then you can send us an email to info@builddevtours.com. You can contact us through our website, builddevtours.com, or through our social media, BuildDevTours. We'll be glad to assist you with your request. Even if you are not sure if we can assist you, well, you can write us. Among the tour services, we provide other services as well, which are for people looking to relocate to Ecuador, looking to come to Ecuador. We also we offer exploratory trips if that is your interest. And of course, this would not be aimed to the average tourist. This is something for the person that may live here. So we go from another perspective for these trips, because the idea is that you really see if you would be living here, if you would adapt to how we are, how we act, and the environment in general. Because one thing is what you may see as a tourist for a few days, and another thing is what you would be living as a resident for a longer time, of course. But well, again, if you need assistance with this, if you would like assistance, you can send us an email or contact us through our social media, or even by WhatsApp that you can have in our website. Anyway, we are here to talk about something that we do as well, which is the visas. And in this video, I will talk about the tourist visa. I have made other videos on this topic, but this one is very particular because this one will be a step-by-step guide on how to apply for your tourist visa of Ecuador from your house, from your place, from your city, wherever you are, and whenever you would like to do that, as long as you meet the requirements. In another video, I have already explained that there are two types of tourists in legal terms. Before continuing, please remember that this video cannot be considered legal advice, because what I am telling you here may be not as specific for your case, and your case may have some special facts that may make, or that may cause that you need more documents or maybe even less documents. So this is a general guide, and for most cases this will work, but don't consider it will be exactly like this for yours. If you would like personalized assistance, you can write us. But I am sure that to most people this will work. And when you apply for the tourist visa, if you're a person that needs to apply for the tourist visa, you will have, in case something's missing, in case you didn't upload something well, you will have a second opportunity within the application process to correct the application. I'll talk about it later, but again, don't consider this legal advice. This is just a general guide on how to do this by yourself. Maybe it works perfectly for you. For most people it will, but maybe not. So if you think you may need more assistance, you can write us and then we would offer personalized assistance. Let's go there. There are two types of tourists in the legal terms. Again, there are the people who don't need to obtain a tourist visa to come to Ecuador. They just need their passport to travel to Ecuador, and they will receive, upon arrival, a tourist permit, usually of 90 days. There are some countries, South American countries only, that will get 180 days. And some people with special projects, usually volunteering projects, that would get 180 days. But this is extremely uncommon. The common thing is 90 days with your passports for people who don't need a tourist visa. And citizens of other South American countries, except for Venezuela, they will get 180 days when they come to Ecuador with their passports, or even with their IDs in most cases. That's the first type, people who only need their passport to come here, nothing else. And the second type of tourist is the tourist of a special regime. At the moment that I am recording this video, there is a list of 45 countries whose citizens need to apply and get the tourist visa before being able to fly into Ecuador or even to come by land to Ecuador. If you are a passport holder of one of the 45 countries that are being shown on the screen now and that are in the description of the video, and you don't have another nationality outside of these 45 countries, then you need to apply for a tourist visa first. And in this video, I will show you how to do that. If the regulations change, if there is another country added to the list, I will edit the description of the video, so please be checking the list in the description of the video to see if your country is there. When the regulations change for this application process, I will be making a new video, so you can subscribe if you are interested in coming to Ecuador frequently or in the future as well. But again, you can always write us to make sure, because regulations may change and your case may be or may have some particular things that we need to address carefully. Okay, if you are national of one of these countries that require a tourist visa to fly into Ecuador, there have been two options to get this tourist visa: through an Ecuadorian consulate or through the website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ecuador, Cancillería. The consulates are not being an option anymore. There are some consulates, I'm talking now August 2025, that still are granting visas, or that's what I heard until recently, or maybe July, but there are less and less. Maybe when you're watching this video, no consulate is granting tourist visas anymore, or visas of other type. They were moving all the system for application to the online system. Beware, be careful, because out there on this planet there are many scammers. There are people telling you, hey, yeah, we'll assist you with the visa, we'll help you with the visa, we'll get you the visa, I work with the consulate people, I work at the consulate, blah, 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 blah. And 99% of the times, this is a scam. I've seen people writing me cases of people being scammed. So I am making also these videos so that you can make the process by yourself. You don't have to pay, you don't even have to pay me. Only like in very special cases, if you think you really need the assistance because something's getting complicated, well, then you can write me and we can book a consultation, a video call or whatever. But in most cases, this video will be enough so that you know what to do, okay? Okay, as I was editing this video, I received a message from someone who had called me some time ago to assist them with the payment in Banco del Pacifico here for the tourist visa. I will show you ahead in this same video what this is about when you cannot pay with a credit card or by mistake you selected the payment in cash in Ecuador. But I thought that there is something that I must tell you and that is very relevant for this video. This person came to Ecuador and was not admitted into Ecuador. I can't really tell the reasons. I don't know all of them. So yeah, I don't have the details and I can actually ask because this person didn't work with me and this person was told by the authorities to not give as many details or to not give details really. But what I can tell you and what I think you must know, actually I don't think, I am sure you must know, is that if you are traveling to Ecuador as a tourist, then that's for tourism purposes. I mean, if you're getting a tourist visa, basically, because yes, many people come here to apply for residency visas and they come with only their passports. That's the case for most Americans, Canadians, for example. But if you're a person of a country that needs to get a tourist visa to come here, then since you have to do all of the process that we are showing you in this video, it's because you're coming to Ecuador to visit. You're getting a visitor visa. If your intention is to migrate from the very beginning, then you have to apply for a residency visa, and you may apply for this residency visa in the same system. This video is not talking about the residency visas, but it's the same website that I will show you. You just have to meet the requirements and you're able to do. You don't have to get a visitor's visa, come to Ecuador as a tourist, and then apply for the residency visa here. No, apply for the residency visa directly from home. That's the way it should be done when you are wanting to migrate here, not like getting a tourist visa and then wanting to apply here. And also, this is something that many people may want to trick you, or they want to tell you like, hey, you can do this, but no, that's not the right way to do it. And also, I would like to take the opportunity to indicate you, because I've been receiving several messages, or lots of messages of people asking about help with the visa to come to Ecuador, but the intention is clearly to apply for the residency visa later, and that is not the way you do it. So if your intention is to come to Ecuador as a tourist, to visit Ecuador, then continue your trip to another country or back to your home, excellent, stay in this video. But if your intention is to come here and then apply for a residency visa here, no, you have to apply for a residency visa directly. That's the way you should do it. Now, if you want to explore Ecuador first, yes, of course, you can do it. But this message is mainly for people who want to come to Ecuador as tourists, but with all the papers in hand. Authorities will know. I mean, they are getting stricter with the visas when they see a profile that doesn't look like a tourist, and when they come here at the airport, having the tourist visa at hand doesn't guarantee you entrance in Ecuador. So please take this into account. And if you're coming as a visitor, welcome with a tourist visa. If you're coming to live here, welcome with a residency visa. But in this video, we're talking about the visit visa, the tourist visa. So let's continue. Let's assume that no consulates are giving visas anymore. They may call you to an interview at the consulate, so be careful about this part. You apply for the visa online, and it will be reviewed by personnel here in Ecuador that will check your profile, and if they consider it, they may call you to attend an in-person interview at an Ecuadorian consulate. It's very uncommon, but it is possible. So you have to be aware of this. But it's not the consulate that will be giving you the visa. It's the Ecuadorian government with officials here in Ecuador that will receive the report of the consulates and will give you the visa. So don't trust that there are people in the consulates that have the contact here. You have to apply, you have to upload your documents, file your application through the website that I will show you in a moment. So please be very careful so that you avoid being scammed. First, what we need to know is our requirements for the tourist visa. It's a very simple thing, actually. The list of requirements is very simple. As it is in the regulations as of August 2025, what you need is the following. Application form. This is actually filled out online and generated online. In the past, you had to download it and then fill it out, but now this is generated by the system. A valid passport that is valid for at least 6 more months at the moment of getting your visa. So I recommend that if you are traveling or your intentions to travel within 3 to 6 months, when you apply for the visa, you have no less than 12 months of validity. The visa process may take up to 2 months to be approved. 3, criminal background check of the country where you're living and of the countries in which you have lived longer than 90 days in the last 5 years. For example, if you're living right now in the United States of America and you have lived with a green card for the last 2 years, But before that, you were in Mexico in the previous 3 years, then you will have to present Mexican criminal background check and federal background check, FBI, and state background check, and that varies according to the state in which you are. That's only for US citizens. But for example, if you are living now in Mexico and you lived before in Spain the last 5 years for longer than 90 days, then you will need the Spanish criminal background check and the Mexican criminal background check. This, if you have lived in the last 5 years only in one country and you have visited other countries, and in your total trips in the last 5 years you have not added up to 90 days or longer, then you only need the background check of the country in which you are right now living, where you are a resident. Maybe it's the same country in which you are a citizen. And by the way, we can also assist you with the translations. We at the office are certified translators. So if you need translations from English to Spanish, that's something we can assist you with. We make the certified translations, we make the PDF files, and we upload them to the system. So if you need this service, you can ask us about the translations and we'll take care. So we have, again, application form generated by the system, valid passport, criminal background check. Number 4, the itinerary of your trip here in Ecuador. You have to write it very detailed what you're going to do. Like, okay, I'm going to Ecuador for 10 days. Day 1, arrival, and I'll be in the city. Day 2, I will be with this person, or like if you're visiting a relative, a friend, or if you're taking a tour, then full day trip 2, or start of the tour to the Amazon of 4 days, day 3, day 4, you have to be very detailed in this. And along with this fourth requirement, you also have to upload the flight tickets, a round trip ticket actually. So to show when you're coming to Ecuador and when you will be leaving. This is mandatory and it is being enforced. Yes, most countries will not require you to buy the tickets in advance, but Ecuador does. That's a disadvantage because if for any reason you are rejected, then you will lose the ticket. So my recommendation is that you buy a fully refundable ticket. If you think that you may have something that may be rejected in your application, for example, that you have committed something in the past and that is in your record and could make you ineligible for a visa to Ecuador, or that you may be missing some documents. So be careful. Most occasions, if you comply with these requirements, you will get the visa. So I would tell you that you don't really need to be afraid of buying the ticket. But if you suspect that something's missing, that something may not be accepted, that your case may be rejected, this is delicate. So in that case, I suggest you to buy a fully refundable ticket. Otherwise, you may lose a lot of money. Fifth requirement, the proof of income. And this proof of income can be shown in 3 ways. The first way is, the most common, is bank statements. Bank statements that in this year of 2025 show that you have in your bank account at least 1,470 United States dollars, or the equivalent amount in your currency. That maybe has to be a current bank statement. If you're submitting the application in August, the bank statement has to be of August or the prior month if your bank statement is closing in the end of the previous month. But even though, I would notarize a screenshot of your current balance so that you can submit everything. That's an option. The bank statements, and the bank statement has to be to your name. In some occasions, they may even require you to provide 3 monthly bank statements, like to show you have had this money since before. It's not like you just made a deposit to take it out the same month. Because if you're coming for tourism for Ecuador, the government assumes that you have money for this trip, and they want to make sure that you do have this money and that you don't want to cheat the system, that you don't want to trick, that you don't want to cheat. They want to check that you're coming with money that you will spend here in Ecuador. The second option for proving the proof of income is a prepaid, or a paid tour package. Like you can buy to our tour operator like us the whole package with the whole itinerary, and you upload that. For example, you buy with us a 10-day itinerary that includes the Andes, Amazon. And yeah, we would provide you with the receipts, everything. Of course, that has to be fully paid in advance. And there would not be really a refund. I mean, if I'm selling you this, is because I know that you have everything in order. But if I suspect that it also may be rejected, I wouldn't be selling you the tour package. And the third option to show or to cover this requirement of proof of income is a letter of invitation of someone here. Remember, the itinerary and the flight tickets will always be required. That's mandatory. The proof of income is a separate requirement, which could be bank statements, paid tour package, or the letter of invitation. So the letter of invitation would basically show or would basically explain the itinerary, same like the paid tour package. But the letter of invitation, it would be written by someone here in Ecuador, someone that's a resident or a citizen, and that would explain what you would do here, and of course certifying that this person is inviting you. Normally, this letter of invitation is written by this person in detail, signed before a notary public of Ecuador, and that would be uploaded to the system. This person has to go with their ID before a notary public, make a process of acknowledgement of signature, or similar to an affidavit. It's not the same, but it's to certify that they would take care of you while you're here. That doesn't mean that they have to provide the money. You would have to have your own money, even if the person says they will be covering most of your expenses. But there will be this person that will respond on your behalf here. Just in case you're wondering, I do not offer letters of invitation. I don't work with people that offer letters of invitation. And there may be bad people who want to sell these letters, which is actually fraud for the Ecuadorian government. This would be a fraud. I mean, I cannot offer you an invitation letter if I'm not inviting you, if I'm not going to take care of you. Me as an authorized tour operator, I can sell you tours, I will get your money, I will issue you the receipts, and of course the government knows what everything is in order. But an invitation letter is something that I would offer only to a friend of mine. But an invitation letter is not something that I would offer just because, and even less sell. The invitation letter is something that you give only to people you know. You are inviting them to be here because you know these people, so they will be visiting you. And the sixth requirement is the payment. There are two payments in the tourist visa process. The first payment is $50, which is the visa application fee. When you have the other documents and you upload the application at the end so that the application starts being processed, you have to pay $50. This $50 fee can be paid with a credit card, that's the most common way, or by bank deposit here in Ecuador. You choose the method of payment, but once you chose it, if you chose by mistake bank deposit in Ecuador, you will need someone here to go to the bank and pay it. This happened once last month, that someone misclicked and then they asked me for help to go to the bank and pay for it. But hopefully that doesn't happen to you. $50 that you pay for the application. After you pay for the application fee, you will have to wait, and it could be 1 week up to 2 months. I have not heard of people waiting 2 months for the tourist visa, but like average would be 3 to 4 weeks. But I've heard people that the following week after paying the application fee, they got the visa approved. When you get the visa approved, you will receive a message in your email, and in the system you have to be following up, indicating that you can make the payment. There will be another payment enabled. When you see the next payment button active, that means that everything was all right, so you just have to pay. And you pay at that moment $30. So in total, the government fees for this visa is $50 application and $30 the visa fee once it is approved. The visa will be issued according to what you indicated in your itinerary. If your itinerary listed that you would be here for 15 days, they may grant you a visa of 20 days, maybe 30 days, some cases more, but you wouldn't need more because you submitted flight tickets showing that you would be here for 15 days and an itinerary for 15 days as well. Some people that may require the maximum, which is 90 days, they have to be very specific in their itineraries that they will be here for 90 days. That, of course, would depend on each specific case. After that, when you pay the $30, the visa is an electronic visa that will be emailed to you. And it will always be from the email of visas of the Cancillería that has a domain that ends in .gov.ec. Again, don't trust scammers that they will do this for you. You can do it yourself. And I hope this video here is useful for that purpose. If you're interested in knowing more about Ecuador, again, I invite you to subscribe. And if you need assistance with tours, you can let us know. That's when everything is fine, when everything is correct. But what if something was missing or if a document was not correctly uploaded? Well, once you pay the visa application fee, you have to wait. When the analysts here in Ecuador check the files that you uploaded and find something is missing or something is wrongly issued, they will send a notification that you will receive via email indicating what's missing or what has to be corrected. When you have that information, you have 10 days to correct that information or to upload the missing document. If you complete that before the 10 days, excellent. You don't have to pay again. You just wait for them to see that everything is correct and approve the payment of the $30 for the visa, and you will get the visa for X amount of days. It could be 30, 60, 90, no more than 90. Okay, now, in this correction process that is called in Spanish subsanación, if you uploaded something that was incorrect, again, even though they told you like, hey, you had to correct this or you have 10 days to correct this, if you didn't upload what they asked for, then the process is canceled. Or if you uploaded something that's wrong, they will tell you the documents that you uploaded is wrong and the visa is rejected, the visa application. So you have to start all over again. But they will justify what was wrong in the document that you uploaded. And you are able to apply later, no problem. But you will know what was wrong in your first application. And that means that you have to pay the $50 application fee again. So now, let's go to the website and let's see how this is made step by step, okay? The first thing is go to your browser. I have my browser here. Let's put me here. And right here, serviciosdigitales.cancilleria.gov.ec. That is serviciosdigitales.cancilleria.gov.ec. As you can see on the screen, serviciosdigitales.cancilleria.gov.ec. Here in the upper right corner, you can change to English or you can keep it in Spanish. For this video, I will put it in English. So next to it, you have the button or the words login registered. You click there and you will go to the screen. Cancillería Ecuador, Servicios Digitales, and here, sign in with your local account. Don't have an account, sign up now. That's what we have to do. We have to sign up. If you already have the account, you just use your email and password. But let's assume you don't have an account. That's why you're watching this video. So sign up now. Verification is necessary. Please click send button. And we will add the email, our email info@bildevtours.com. And then you don't put a password here. It says new password, confirm new password. What you have to do here after writing the email address is click on send verification code. When you click on send verification code, you will receive on your email inbox a code. And that's the code that you will put down in another window that will show up. And after that, you will set your own password. After you have your password, what you do is enter again serviciosdigitales.cancilleria.gov.ec and then you put your email information and your password. So let's assume you already have that. So we enter here. We put email address, we put password. the CAPTCHA code. I'm not a robot. Sometimes it's automatically selected. Otherwise, you have to choose the figures according to the instructions and then click on sign in. When you sign up, you also have the option of Google and Microsoft. If you're a person that prefers to have everything in one place and all easy, you can choose your Gmail account or your Outlook, Hotmail, and enter through that when you sign up. But since we did it personalized with the email and I already have a password, I'm going to sign in normally. We click and we have this screen. One section visas and the other apostilles. So once we are there, we have this welcome screen, system access menu, visas and apostilles. Apostilles of Ecuadorian documents, of course. That's not relevant for this video. Visas. Authorization granted by the Ecuadorian state to foreign individuals, allowing them to stay in Ecuadorian territory for a specified period of time in accordance with current laws and regulations. Choose. You will not have anything down here. Procedure stored will be empty. In this case, I have something because this account belongs to a client whose process is already finished. Well, you will see active procedures, empty again, and we go to this section right side below the name that shows new procedure. Click on new procedure, type of service, ordinary and diplomatic visas. That's the only thing here. A visa renewal, well, we're going to apply for a tourist visa, choose service. And it says visas identification order. Identification order is something for residents, not relevant to this video. Visas, new visa or renewal. For people with tourist visas, new visa. And you have who applies for the procedure. Headline, actually this is a wrong translation. This means the holder or the person directly, personal application applying for their visa. Attorney or legal representative, representation on behalf of third parties. You give me a power of attorney and I take care of everything on your behalf. I would choose this. Or underage children, when you have kids that are less than 18 years old, then you have to go through this option. But in this case, let's go with personal application, titular. Choose. Diplomatic, not our case. Temporary visitor, that's our case, that's for tourists. The others are for residents. Temporary residency, permanent residency. That is not what I'm showing in this video, maybe in another video. But in this video, we'll talk about the temporary visitor's visa or tourist visa. Document that is given to the applicant for the issuance of the identity card and the text down here is wrong, so never mind, it's the same text for everything, it's just wrong in the system, but this is the option we have to choose. If I click Spanish, then it will be right in Spanish. Visitante temporal, migratory condition for foreign people to be able to transit in national territory or carry out tourist activities. Let's go again to English. Temporary visitor, choose, select type of procedure, and you have different types of temporary visitors. Trade acts and other activities for 180 days. This is for people who are coming as tourists, but not like regular tourists. They are actually here to learn about businesses, meet with other people, and they can choose this option of trade acts and other activities. But you will need like the certificate, letter of invitation of the company here. That's a very uncommon type of tourist visa. For regular tourists, it will be temporary visitor, tourist 90 days. The tourist extension is for people who are already here with a tourist visa and need to extend that. Let's change this to Spanish and then we can see it more clearly. This is temporary visitor, the trade activities, 180 days. That's mainly for business people. The temporary extension, that's for people who are here with a tourist visa already. The regular visitante temporal turista, that's the one you would choose, the one in the middle. And you have for Cuban tourists, it's a little bit different for them, and for Venezuelan tourists. But we're choosing the regular one, which is in the middle. Tourist, temporary visitor, tourist 90 days. Select activity, tourist, 90 days. Continue. Select type of procedure. It has been detected that you are applying from Ecuador, so you must be in a regular migratory situation. If you continue with the process, remember that there is a cost of the visa application. This amount will not be refundable. Note, there isn't cost for diplomatic visas. Do you agree? Accept. Maybe, because I've seen this happening, it shows this message to you as well, even if you are not in Ecuador. But you just click accept, no problem. In this case, this person is in Ecuador, they have a visa, so no problem. But it's just to show you. If this appears to you, no problem. You just go accept, and here's where you start filling out the application form. I will put everything here. Beneficiaries data. That's the first section out of 4 sections. Here you have to upload an image, a picture. That picture has to have a white background. It has to be in JPG or PNG format, up to 2 megabytes of the size has to be 5 by 5 centimeters or 2 by 2. This is sometimes a pain. I recommend using if you're using Windows, the Microsoft software for images, and you resize. But you have to try several ways. Sometimes click one thing, change the format. Sometimes it takes a while until you get the right format and size. Original photo in good quality in color and on a white background with a neutral facial expression. It has to be like no hat, no glasses, no long earrings. It has to be as simple as possible, straight, white background, and no smiling. It's just a neutral facial expression. Unedited, uncropped, and it says here unedited, uncropped, and unmodified photographs. Well, you will have to crop, because you can take it with your cell phone as long as you have good lighting. Maybe sometimes you have to remove the background to make it fully white. But as long as you meet this format of passport type photo, it will accept it. I'm going to upload one that I know it's good. I uploaded it here. You see, it has a white background. Fine. It accepted it. Otherwise, it would not even show it here. Then you have to start filling out the information. This first part, relationship with applicant, you don't do anything. It's only one option. Remember, please enter the mandatory data that is according with your passport information. Verify that the entered data matches and corresponds to the requirements to be uploaded. And the data will be stored for a period of 1 day, and you will need to re-enter the information if you don't complete this in 1 day. So make sure that you are doing this when you have everything. And I already told you the requirements, but we'll see in the section for how you upload that. Since you already opened the account with your passport number, your full name at the beginning, when you log in, you have to fill out for the first time all of your information. And that was already made because this was not a new account. But in your case, when you get to this point, you would have already completed that part as well. First surname, second surname. Not all countries have second surname. Date of birth. You can click on the calendar here. Remember, our format is day, month, year. So don't be afraid if you see that it looks otherwise for people who use the US system for dates. This is automatically filled out. Again, you did this when you registered at the beginning for the first time, when you logged in for the first time. Age, nationality, country of birth. Then this may be different if you are citizen of a country in which you were not born. So let's put whatever, Germany. City of birth. Sometimes your city will not be listed, so you have to choose the province or the state, the department, or sometimes you have to choose what's closest because it's not here. Marital status. If you are married, then when you choose married, you will have more options here below. You have to also complete the information of your spouse. So you have to have all the information. But if you are single, divorced, widower, you will not have to fill out anything else. So single, nothing else here. Sex, gender, email, you cannot change it because it's the same email you used for creating the account. Do you have a disability which is registered with the Ministry of Public Health of Ecuador? Yes or no? No. Continue. From here you go to section number 2 and in this section you have to start typing information. The first part was almost automatically filled out. So you have to check you have an ordinary passport, that's regular passport. The passport number you have to verify it is correct. Then the date of issuance of the passport. Remember, the passport has to be valid for at least 12 more months at the moment you are starting this process. Expiration date. Country of issue, that's the country of our nationality, even if you obtain it through consulate, city of. So the country of issue, sometimes you get the passport through a consulate, then you put, in your case, if you did it through a consulate and the consulate prints the passport, you put that. But most times the passports are issued in the country of origin and then they are sent abroad. And most people, they just get their passports in their country. So you don't, in their country of origin. So let's assume this person is German, country of issue of the passport Germany, city of issue, whatever. A random city here. Remember, this is just test, of course. When you fill out your information, you have to be 100% accurate according to your case. Continue. Country of residence, province, state of residence. Remember, if the options are not shown all for you, you have to choose what's closer. Home city, what? Well, in this case, it's giving me a mistake with Germany, so I'm choosing a country that I know requires a visa. Bangladesh, for example. Bangladesh, home city, and I choose random city. Maybe with Germany it's giving me an error because Germans don't need a visa. Address, random information here. You put with your country code the home phone number. If you don't have a home phone number, landline, put the same as your cell phone, mobile phone number. And same in work phone number. You always have to put something in each space. Now, very important, this part here. Country for interview. At the beginning, I told you that in most cases, you don't have to appear at an Ecuadorian consulate, but sometimes you may need to. That depends on your profile and what the analysts here in Ecuador decide. If they think that you should appear for a personal interview at an Ecuadorian consulate, then you are the one choosing to what consulate, what's the closest to you. And here you will have options only of where Ecuador has consulates. So let's assume the person is from Bangladesh and is living in Bangladesh, because remember, this part is about the home data. This is the home information. So the person is from Bangladesh and living in Bangladesh. But yeah, this person could be from Bangladesh living in United Arab Emirates. Then you would have to put here United Arab Emirates. And the country for interview, since in Dubai since in the UAE there's not a consulate yet, you will have to choose the closest. Well, here now it is listed. That's new because there was not until 2 weeks ago. Interview location, Sección Consular del Ecuador in Abu Dhabi, Consulate of Ecuador in Abu Dhabi. That's new. So looks like they will start interviewing people here. But when there was nothing, you had to choose Qatar. That was the closest. And now I don't know. Here, Qatar, for example. In interview location, Sección Consular del Ecuador in Doha. But if the person, let's say, is in Pakistan, country of residence, Pakistan, province, we have to choose whatever we find. And in country of interview, Pakistan is not an option because Ecuador does not have a consulate in Pakistan. What's the closest country? India. So you have to choose India. Interview location, consulate section of Ecuador in New Delhi. That's it. There's no other option. Hopefully you don't have to appear to an interview. But if you have, that's the only thing. That depends on your profile and what the analysts here in Ecuador decide. Where is this request applied from? Usually it will be from the country of residence. But yeah, you may be on vacation in another country and you choose that other country. Let's assume the person is from Pakistan, living in Pakistan and not on vacation at the moment, so they're using Pakistan. When you click continue, then you go to the first section, which is where you upload the specific requirements. Information of the specific requirements requested the visa process. The section, the first line on each block shows you the requirement that you have to upload there. The text here is very general, but it gives you important information as well. For example, here the first, poder emitido ante notario público, that means power of attorney. And this document is for people who are not uploading themselves, but through a representative. Not the case here. This is assuming you're doing everything yourself. Why is this document important? It's the same text for all documents, so never mind about this. Why is the document important? Because it's important, as simple as that. Because it's on the law. How should I upload my document? Document in PDF format up to 2 megabytes. Original document scanned in good quality in color. No photos from a mobile device. Remember, You have to use a scanning machine like the one I have here, for example. You don't use your cell phone unless you have a very good cell phone and you have a very good precision to take the pictures and then scan the document. But that's not recommendable. Use a machine. And complete document, not crop or modified. I mean, that's why you do it with a machine. You will not have any of these problems, and in PDF format. So how do you know what exactly you have to upload? In the right section above the block where it shows choose a file or drag it here, you will have red letters or not. If you don't have the red letters, the document is not mandatory. But if you have the red letters showing mandatory, that means you must upload that document. For example, here you have passport minimum validity 6 months. Mandatory. And in this block, you have to upload the scan of that document. For example, I click here and I enter the folder where I have everything. Pasaporte, passport, and I click here and it will show the passport here, for example. Good, that's my PDF scan uploaded. No more than 2 megabytes. Next, criminal record provided by the country of origin or the place where you resided for the last 5 years. Valid for at least 180 days from the date of granting until the last entry into the country. Requirement applicable only to those over 18 years of age. If you are applying for a minor, the minor does not need the background check and it will not show mandatory. But for adults, it's always mandatory. This criminal background check has to be legalized by an Ecuadorian consulate if it is from a country that does not issue apostilles. For example, Egypt. Egypt does not issue apostilles. They are not part of the Hague Convention on legalization authentication of documents. So they have to legalize the document by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and then they have to legalize that through an Ecuadorian consulate. And well, by luck, there is one in Cairo, in Egypt. But other countries that don't have apostilles, like the United Arab Emirates, the criminal background check has to be also legalized by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the United Arab Emirates and then by the Ecuadorian consulate in United Arab Emirates. This really depends on where you're coming from. If your country issues apostille, that's easier because you go directly for the apostille. So you click here and you upload the document, criminal background check with apostille. And the document is valid for only 180 days after the date is issued. Not after the date of the legalization or the apostille, the date of the document, of the criminal background check. And if you are a person living in the United States, like for example, you are Cuban, you are Filipino, you are Pakistani in the USA, then you have to submit the criminal background check issued. You have to issue 2 criminal background checks if you have been living for the last 5 years in the US, or if you have been for longer than 90 days in the last 5 years. You provide the FBI criminal background check with a federal apostille issued by the Department of State and a state criminal background check that is issued by the state authority of law enforcement, plus an apostille of the Secretary of State of that state. This varies a lot from state to state, so I cannot give specific instructions here. And if you, in the last 5 years, you were in another country, you also need the criminal background check from that other country, and that criminal background must not have been issued more than 180 days ago, otherwise you have to get a new one. Next, apostille or legalized power of attorney. It's not mandatory, not the case here, not needed here. This proof of legal means of living in the secondary regulations issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Human Mobility, mandatory. We have to upload it here. Document in PDF format up to 4 megabytes. Here is where you upload one of these 3 options I told you. Bank statement to your name showing $1,470 or equivalent amount in other currency. This amount varies every year, but in this year that's the amount. Or the receipt of the paid tour package and the information of the tour package, or the letter of invitation by someone in Ecuador. That's what you upload here. This is in case you need to add something extra. Like if you are not a national of the United States, for example, and you're applying from the United States, you have to show that you are legally in that country where you're applying for. Because if you're not in a legal status, then they will not accept your visa application. For example, we have a Filipino person that is in the United States. In this section, other, they will have to upload the visa of the United States or the green card of the United States, showing that they are legally in the United States. And in the end, in the section add an observation if necessary, there you write a green card attach, visa attach. Also, what you could do is combine that green card or visa with a passport and upload that in the section of the passport. Birth or marriage certificate or de facto union as appropriate, apostille or legalized. Not the case here. This person is single and birth certificate is not needed for this visa unless you are a minor child and you are applying for the visa of the minor child to show that you are the father. That's when you would need the birth certificate with apostille and translated. Travel itinerary and round-trip tickets. Mandatory, as you see here. Remember, travel itinerary and round-trip tickets, they have to be combined. You write the itinerary, detail, or if you have a tour already prepaid, you upload that, and you have to combine that with the flight tickets. And after you upload that, let's say these itinerary and flight tickets, proof of legal means, that's the bank statement. When you upload everything that is mandatory, you have to add an observation if necessary. I told you it depends on your case. Many times you don't have to add anything here, but if you have a specific thing like I am a permanent resident of this country, or I have been living in this country for many years, and I am submitted proof of it in the section other, write that here. And after that, you click save. Are you sure you want to finish entering the requirements? Accept. Now this is being uploaded to the system and it takes you to the screen of make payment. It may take a while to upload depending on your internet connection and the demand of the system, but normally it takes about 20 to 30 seconds. So you have make payment, you check your picture, your basic information, full name, surnames, email, document number, nationality, immigration status, type of visa, and then you select the payment method. Deposit here in banking, Ecuador, or debit card. When you're applying for a tourist visa, it's assumed that you are not in Ecuador. So the debit card, the following card brands are recommended: Visa and MasterCard. I don't recommend debit card, but if that's your only option, then you may try. Well, this person is receiving senior discount because is inside Ecuador. But for people who are not inside Ecuador, usually you don't get the discount for the application fee, which is 50%. So if you see USD $50, that's the normal fee. When you are older than 65 and you're doing processes from Ecuador, then you usually receive the discount. But most cases will not have the discount. So don't be afraid if the system shows you 50. That's the normal fee. Remember that once the payment method is selected, there are no refunds for changes. You have 45 business days to make the payment. When you click on pay, it will open the window to enter your credit card information, email address. You select the country here where your phone number, cell phone, the name as it is in the card number, month, year, and the security code. Then you click on pagar and it will load. Maybe it takes between 10 and 60 seconds. And after it's paid, it will show payment approved. You will receive an email, and from there you will have to wait. It could be between 1 week and 8 weeks, but normally it takes about 4 weeks. You can actually check the status in this upper section, My Procedures. You will see here, you can click on View File, and you will see the status. It may start changing little by little, and it may show on this section that someone is analyzing or that something has to be corrected. But you also have to check the notifications on this bell, which is what you will get in your email. Be sure to check your spam folder because sometimes things go there. Now, I made this application and now it says application pending payment. I'm not paying, of course. This person does not need a visa. That's already completed. And this will disappear in 1 or 2 days. This was made here just to show you how to make it. When you are approved for the second payment, it will show again here pay. Otherwise, it will show only view file while it is being processed, while your application is being processed. But once everything has been approved, if you have to correct, it will show here subsanar or correct. But if not, it will activate the status of Visa pending payment and you will see the pay button again. That means you can pay, that everything was fine and you are able now to pay. In this case, I'm not paying because this person does not need a visa. I think that would be it. I hope you have found this video useful. You don't really need anything else here. The specific instructions on how to get your documents would vary depending on the country. It's not the same to get a criminal background check in the United Arab Emirates than in Pakistan, than in India, than in the United States. And when you're in the United States, you need more than one background check. So this all varies depending on the country where you are. Also, once you get the visa, you're able to download it from the system, but it will be sent to your email as well. You download that visa, you have it on your mobile phone, and the recommendation is that you have it printed as well, just in case, technology sometimes may fail. And that's what you show along with your passport when you're traveling, the printed visa and the mobile or the PDF version. But I recommend always to have the hard copy just in case. This visa can also be verified. This is visa at a website of the Ecuadorian government. Actually, in the visa, in the lower section, it shows the website that is an official government website, that gov.ec, where you can verify the visa information, or where any official or where any person anywhere in the world can verify it. Well, that would be it. I hope you have found this video useful, and I hope this video avoids people being scammed, because as you see, you can do things yourself, but if you need assistance, you can write us and we'll check if you really need assistance and how we can help you. That would be it for this video. If you're interested in Ecuador, remember, follow us. If you like this video, thumbs up. Let us know in the comments if this was useful, or also what you would like to watch in future videos. So I don't really expect changes within short term. So from now on, we will be watching more about Ecuador nature, culture. There's a lot to show you that I've been visiting, recording, and hope to see you there. If you would like assistance also with the trip here, let us know. That would be everything for now. Thank you very much, and see you in the next adventure. Bye bye.